Alright, estudiantes, today we're going to continue to talk about the subjunctive. Now, for you to kind of wrap your head around what the idea of the subjunctive mood is, I want you to think about it like an umbrella. Alright, so you've got the whole umbrella of the subjunctive mood. So far we've talked about using the subjunctive with impersonal expressions, and so another type of, or another panel for the subjunctive, we're going to talk about verbs of hope today. So today we're going to talk about verbs of hope. So first of all, let's make this connection in English because we can't translate word for word, okay? So think about this in English. If we want someone to do something, we use the infinitive, all right? For example, I want John to arrive on time. All right, following me so far? If we want to express hope, then we use the present tense. So you hope someone does something, you use the present tense. I hope John arrives on time. Arrives are present tense conjugation in English. And then finally, if we wish someone would do something, then we're going to use the conditional. For example, I wish John would arrive on time. Alright, so think about those sentences in English. Now, how do we express those things in Spanish? So we're going to take those same three sentences and we're going to translate them into Spanish. So make sure you're following along on your notes. So this should be number 1 where it says in Spanish, quiero que John llegue. Alright, and then of course our verb querer means to want. So in English we say I want John to arrive on time, whereas in Spanish we're going to use the subjunctive. Notice llegue is our subjunctive conjugation of llegar. Sentence number 2. Espero que John llegue. And if we want to arrive, say on time, a tiempo. And then our verb esperar means to hope. So, espero que John llegue means I hope John arrives. Deseo que John llegue means I wish John would arrive on time. So again, think about those translations from Spanish to English. So if we want to use the verb to wish, then we're going in Spanish and we have a subject change, then we're going to use the subjunctive. And then finally, in Spanish, we're going to add a fourth one. And in my classes, we've already talked about this phrase a little bit, this ojalá que. And it's kind of like this God willing, I hope idea. So it's always going to use the word ojalá with an accent on the second A. So I hope that John arrives on time. God willing, John will arrive on time. Okay. Hopefully you're following me so far. Again, the key word or the key idea is that we're using those 4 verbs and expression to use the subjunctive. So again, here's our little formula. We've got our verbs of hope, querer, esperar, desear, and ojalá que, and then our word que, a different subject, and then we're going to have the subjunctive. Again, this is the same formula that you guys were using with the impersonal expressions at the very beginning. So we're only switching the impersonal expressions with our 4 verbs of hope. Again, very basic. There you go. So now I want you all to practice these 3 sentences. So how do we say, we hope Maria represents our school, I wish our team would win, and you want the company to invest in the product. So please hit pause and see if you can put these sentences together yourself. Okay, here we go. Esperamos que, so we hope that, or we hope Maria represente nuestra escuela. Again, notice represente is our subjunctive conjugation. Deseo que nuestro equipo gane. Again, even though in English we say would win, then in Spanish this is when we use the subjunctive. And then number 3, tú quieres que la compañía invierta en el producto. Again, in English we use the infinitive to invest, whereas in Spanish we use the subjunctive, invierta, excuse me. Alright, so if you have any questions, make sure you jot those down. We are going to continue to practice when you guys come back to class. Thanks.